What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Vegas 100. We have Carlos Prates going against Neil Magny. It's a very special card, very special card. We got the 100th fight night at the Apex, and since it's a special card, I wanted to bring on a very special guest, and that is Uncle Wheezy. Wheezy, are you looking forward to UFC Vegas 100? We're getting treated this Saturday.
Yeah, we're getting treated all right. This one is going to be a fun card to watch. Probably not a very fun card to gamble on. I am keeping very small on this card, and I got no problem with that. We're going to have cards where we're more convicted one way or another on these fights than others. But this is one of those weeks, Brady, where it feels like you got to kind of just hold your nose and pay up in a lot of spots for the obvious spots. But I'm not the type of person that does that, so I've got some small little plays that I'm making here this week, and some high upside plays, and hopefully the variance goes our way and we make some money on this trash can of a card.
Yeah, I mean, I barely have much action on this card, but I still feel like I have too much. But yeah, it should be interesting for sure. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to go live tomorrow, 7:15 Eastern time, breaking down a really good card, UFC 309 with Uncle Weezy Stat Diggers tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Wanted to definitely come on here. I have a busy day. The wife scheduled family pictures today.
Oof.
Family pictures. And it's like, okay, what time are they? 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock? What do you mean 4 o'clock? That's when the fight starts. So I'm going to end up missing Melissa Mullins, Claudia Segulia. I might miss Trayshawn Gore, Antonio Troli. Might get back in time for the Blackshear Staman fight. So it is what it is, but family pictures today. But I did want to come on here for sure. I didn't want to miss it. Last week, I missed it. It was out of my control. I literally couldn't find anybody to watch the kid. And somebody got really mad at me, Wheezy.
Really?
Really mad at me. They didn't go to the DMs or the comment section. They went straight to the email with their anger, and got an earful. So I wanted to make sure I came on here. Sorry for missing the show last week. It was literally out of my control. But hopefully you guys are doing well and looking forward to some fights. Let's see what we got in the chat here. We got Tom. What is up, Tom? Penn State whiteout too, Brady. There we go. We got Elijah one in the building. We got Frank. We got Din, Daddy. We got Xavier. We got Seymour. We got Jesse, Mick D, Chronic Combat Conversations. Good to see you guys in here. We got Huevo MMA. Do we hold hands? No, we do not do that. Family pictures are awful. Yeah, man. You got to dress up. Everybody's got to dress up, and it's cold out. But you got to do what you got to do. We got Rem Dog in the building. We got Chris, John Q. Good to see you all. All right, Weezy. We have 11 fights to talk through. We give 10 best bets, and we'll be passing on one of these 11 fights. And we're going to kick it off with the fight I will be unfortunately missing. We got Melissa Mullins going against Claudia Segulia. Money pouring in on Melissa Mullins. She's currently around minus 330. Claudia, or minus 300 to minus 330. Claudia Segulia sitting around plus 260, plus 250. I'll let you kick this one off, Wheezy. What are you looking at for this Melissa Mullins fight?
Yeah, so I don't know much about Claudia. You know, we saw some tape on her against some really low-level opponents on some, European fight promotions that I've honestly never heard of, like Armia Fight Night and a couple others. So, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing that she's not here because she's a phenomenal fighter. When you watch the weigh-ins, you might have an idea of why Claudia Segulia is here. But Melissa Mullins is somebody that has a good ground game. She's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. I believe she's a no-gi world champion at the brown belt level as well. So if she can take you down, she can land ground and pound. She could potentially get a submission. And if this is a levels fight, if Segulia really isn't ready to be here, I think that Melissa's got finish equity here. So I saw inside the distance at plus 285 on Bet Rivers earlier. Is that still available?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I actually show it's still available. Plus 285, Melissa Mullins, no mess inside the distance.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a mess if she gets this chick out of here, because I do have the inside the distance bet myself, and I also took a sprinkle on the sub. But yeah, I'll go inside the distance right there with you, plus 285. Yeah, I think, Melissa Mullins, she should be able to get on top at some point here, and just when she does, like, her ground game is vicious, nasty ground and pound. And we talk about, like, the grappling. She's a really good grappler, BJJ brown belt. Haven't really seen it much thus far in the UFC, but She can absolutely grapple. Segolia's been submitted in her only loss. I've seen Segolia put into bad spots on the mat. So yeah, should be Mullins here. And yeah, money's pouring in on her, which I think is, when I first saw the line, I laughed out loud because how can Mullins be like minus 250? But at the same time, it's like, what is Segolia really doing here? So yeah, I like Mullins as well. Mullins inside the distance. And I did sprinkle the stuff because I feel like this could be her first submission win if she goes for it. So we'll see. Let's see. Brady, the real question is, would you enjoy a chicken Big Mac? And if so, what is your soda of choice? I couldn't ever eat McDonald's. Just the thought of it just sounds nasty. Like I've dated 2 girls from McDonald's, and anytime they got off work, they just smelled so bad. Like fries and grease, and the smell is still in my mind. So I couldn't eat McDonald's. It would just make me sick. So no, I wouldn't. And soda, I do not drink soda, but what I do like is those new like Ollie Pops, which is kind of soda, but it has like only like 2 grams of sugar, like 30 calories. So I don't mind those Ollie Pops nowadays. We got David saying amazing work. Appreciate you, David. Melissa Mullins looks like a manager of a Burger King. Yeah, she does. She does. But when she gets on top, like I said, she's nasty. She's very nasty. Love me a McDonald's woman. They're not great. They're not great women to date. At least in my experiences. We got Forrest saying Brady and Uncle Weezy putting money in our pockets on this glorious Saturday. That is the goal. I hope so. I seriously hope so. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We got Tresean Gore going against Antonio Tricoli. We got Tresean Gore minus 160, Tricoli plus 140. I will kick this one off, and I will be using up my first and only pass for this card. Just nothing really sticking out here. I think like it's a good matchup for Gore. Like I think he has the takedown defense to keep it standing. I think his grappling's underrated. I think he's the better striker, but he's just so disgustingly low volume. I feel like he can just make this fight competitive for like no reason. So I like Gore to win, but I just can't get to the money line, and nothing's really sticking out elsewhere. So I'll be passing on this Gore Tricoli fight. Weezy, what do you got for this one here?
This was the one that I said was the 1-800 gambler fight of the week when I did my fight write-ups. And, we haven't seen Gore in 2 years. We've seen Trocoli a couple of times, but there's rumors that the guy barely even trains, and he looks to just be kind of showing up for a check. So it's a fight that I'm probably going to stay. Well, I have stayed away from it. I put the over 2.5 in my greasy 4-leg parlay at plus 105, and that's moved. So I don't like it anymore because it's like minus 110 or something like that. So I think I'm going to just pass on this one as well. It's a bad fight to bet on. There's a lot of variance there, and there's nothing that's really sticking out to me. I can see that fight going like 8 different ways.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's a couple fights I just really want to pass on, but this one, it's like I really, really don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, not touching it. John, as well as not touching it. Other John is saying pass as well. Tricoli win. I mean, he could just because Tresean Gore. I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't put it all together yet. I feel like there's some upside, but we're yet to kind of see it. All right. Let's move on to this next fight then. We got Damon Blackshear going against Cody Staman. We got Blackshear minus 262, Cody Staman plus 222. And I'll kick this one off. I'm just going to go with the Cody Staman plus 3.5 point spread. It's minus 125. I think as long as he doesn't get submitted, this should probably cash pretty easily. Blackshear, I think, has lost a ton of third rounds in the UFC. I don't think he has the best cardio. And on top of that, I kind of feel like this fight can play out competitively. Like Blackshear, he's younger, he's bigger, but Cody Staman's fought some really good guys. And I'm not sure Blackshear is going to be able to get his grappling going. I don't think he's going to be able to take down Staman. I kind of feel like this fight might play outstanding. And if that's the case, it could look, somewhat competitive. So I'm taking the plus 3.5 point spread, minus 125. Like I said, as long as Staman can go the full 15, I think that hits one way or another. Weezy, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 bets that I was looking at was Staman plus 3.5 and then just Blackshear by decision. They're both right around the same price. I think Blackshear decision minus 130. I think the Staman minus 125. And I'm just going to go with the Blackshear decision here. Staman looks to be like the kind of guy that the UFC is trying to cut right now, because they're paying him like 3 or 4 times as much as they're paying some of these kids that are coming off the Contender Series. And you see these guys are getting cut off of losses now, or off of wins even. We just saw Romanov get cut off a win. We just saw Nascimento get cut too. They cut both of them. And I think that that's what's happening. When you're signing 35 to 40 fighters off the Contender Series, and then also giving a bunch of those guys short notice fights when they lose sometimes on the Contender Series, that I think you're going to kind of see some of these older veterans that are making a lot more just to show up kind of be removed from the roster. I think Damon Blackshear by decision at -130 is the play here. I think that's my stylistic read. It's a dog shit line from a price perspective, but on weeks like this, I think you sometimes just got to hold your nose and make the bet, and that's the one I'm doing.
Yeah, I think they both hit probably. I think Damon Blackshear probably ends up getting his hand raised by decision. And I think Cody Staman might be able to steal a round. Really could be any round, but I'm kind of thinking maybe Blackshear slows down and drops the third, something like that. So, yeah, but not a fight I'm in love with at all. I hate that line on Blackshear. Way too wide. Yeah. SK saying, want to pass on this whole card? Probably smart, but that's hard to do. That's hard to do because I did fight in spots I don't mind. Are point spread bets even bettable anymore given the inconsistency of judging? Yeah, that's the thing you got to be wary of when you take a shot on some of these point spreads. It's like it's going to come down in the hands of the crooked, corrupt judges. So
yeah, but you know what, Brady? I think that it's a great bet most of the time. You're going to find some spreads that are very, very intriguing at the price. And for instance, the people who just bet Carlos Leal a couple of weeks ago, plus 3.5 points handicap, took one of the worst beats that they're ever going to take in their life. They lost the bet, but did they make a good bet? Absolutely, they made a good bet. That was a phenomenal bet. That should have cashed 99 out of 100 times. It just so happens that the one time out of 100 that those three judges got together and judged that fight, it didn't work out for you. So oftentimes you want to look at, did you get your money in good? And if the answer is yes, and the judging has variance anyway, you should probably continue making those kind of bets. I like the handicap bets. I think that they're great ways to find spots that you wouldn't normally be able to play. Like, is this fight going to be a close fight? You find some of these, like a Staman, who's plus 225, but you can get that points handicap at pay just a little bit of juice for it. And it's probably going to be a good bet. It's probably going to cash.
Yeah. No, I like him too. I think it's a good way to hit a lot of these. But yeah, there's been some like questionable decisions. And sometimes it goes in my favor. Like I had the Austin Hubbard plus 3.5 point spread against Alexander Hernandez. And I think a judge scored the fight 30-27 for Hubbard. And I won it on the first scorecard. So yeah, I don't mind those. All right, let's move on to this next fight. We got Charles Radtke going against Matthew Semelsberger. We got Charles Radtke -174, Matthew Semelsberger plus 149. Uncle Weezy, I will kick it to you. What are you looking at for this fight here?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. With you got two guys that have got a ton of power on the feet. Radtke's got a nasty left hook. Semelsberger's got a great straight right. 10 knockdowns in the UFC for Semelsberger, and I think Radtke can put anyone's lights out with his left. And then, but Semelsberger's got pretty bad takedown defense. He's been able to stay safe while on the ground, but I think that Radtke's got a really good grappling game, very underrated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt here. I think the plan is going to be for him to wrestle, to stay safe, keep away from that right hand to semi, get a takedown or two, try to work to the back here and try to find a submission. So I'm going to take a long shot play here and go Charles Radtke by submission. I think it's plus 650-ish, maybe plus 700 on Bet Rivers. I'm a little bit worried about semi. 3 losses in a row, and the ground game has never been very good. He's getting taken down by guys that aren't like phenomenal wrestlers either. So I think that Radtke's going to find this dude's back, and I think he's going to choke him out. So yeah, I'm looking for a rear naked choke win for Charles C. Diddy Radtke, who will be making the walk today to P. Diddy. And people might think I'm joking about that. I've heard it through the grapevine, and that's what's going to happen. This dude's making the walk to P. Diddy today. He's trying to play that heel role even better than Colby played it. And he asked the UFC to be announced as Charles C. Diddy Radtke. And the UFC told him, no, we're not announcing you as C. Diddy. Please don't do that. But Charles Radtke, I'm looking for him to get a submission here. It's a long shot play. We'll see if it hits, man.
Oh boy, Charles Radtke. Yeah, it's for me. It's the same thing. There's a couple sub props I like on this card, and that's one of them. Radtke sub. It's actually plus 750 right now on FanDuel because I mean I feel like the path should be to grapple here for Radtke. Could he stand and knock out Semelsberger? Yes, but like Semelsberger, you don't really want to strike with this guy. This guy has a ton of power. 9 to 10 knockdowns in the UFC. Radtke should be able to get takedowns here. I don't think he has the best wrestling, but I don't really think he's going to need the best wrestling. Semelsberger just kind of folds like a lawn chair anytime somebody tries to take him down. And I just feel like there's going to be a big difference in terms of the grappling here between the two. We've seen Semelsberger put into a ton of bad spots on the mat. He's been submitted before. So yeah, Radtke submission at plus 750. It's a long shot prop that I think makes a lot of sense and will certainly have some opportunities. So yeah, give me the crap. I pulled up my screen with all my bets on it. Nobody look at it. Nobody look at that. Nobody look at it. I pulled up the wrong screen. Yikes. Hopefully nobody saw that. But Radtke sub plus 700. Yes, please. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Brady, did you have time to buy a new TV? Yeah, thank you, Mike Malott. You owe me one TV for that terrible fight, terrible performance you had last week. So shout out to Mike Malott for breaking my TV. Dev screenshot it. Dang it. Dang, that's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about. They're going to fight like two rats in a shoe. It's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be a fun fight. Charles Baby Oil Radtke. There we go. CC Daddy. Yeah, did he really change his nickname to that, or is that a joke? Or did he try?
Well, he's asking the UFC to please announce me as Charles C. Diddy Radtke, and he's going to come out to P. Diddy. But the UFC told him no, but I guess they're allowing him to make the walk to Diddy.
All right. Why is Radtke sub plus 700? I can see him getting the sub. Yeah, he can. This guy's a black belt. Why wasn't Matt cut? I don't think he was cut, but I think he's been out for a while with some type of injury, right?
Yes. I think that's about an 8-month break for Matt, which might be a really good thing because I think he fought like 10 times over a 3-year stretch, Brady. He was very active. So Semi coming back after a little bit of a break, we could see him, some of these guys just refuse to let their bodies heal.
Yeah.
And they don't realize until they actually do it how much better they feel, how much more productive they are in training, when they are healthy. So we'll see if that matters.
Hey, Alex in the building. What is up, Alex? Good to see you. All right, let's keep moving on to this next fight. We got Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos going against Zach Scrogin, and we have Elizeu Zaleski as the biggest favorite on the card at minus 800 and Zach Scrogin at plus 550. And yeah, this fight just makes no sense to me. It just feels like a waste of time. Like they couldn't have found Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos anybody else. But I mean, they're bringing in Zach Scrogin, which you look at the record, like it's cool. He's 7-0. And then you go look at his opponents and his last fight, he was beating up some 60-year-old. And that 60-year-old was like having success against him, like landing big shots against him. Yeah, I think this should be Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos all day, really, however he wants. It could be by knockout. It could be by sub. The knockout prop is like plus 125, but the sub prop is plus 575. So I'm going to take a shot on the sub prop at plus 575. I think he can get takedowns. Like this guy Scrogin, he will let you take him down. He'll jump the ghillie. He has no takedown defense. And if Elizeu Zaleski does get to your back, he's very dangerous there. On top of that, Scrogin coming in on short notice, missed weight. I don't think he's ready for this fight. And it's just an astronomical step up in competition. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, he's older, but he's not like a 60-year-old regional scene guy. So give me Zaleski dos Santos inside the distance and by sub. And the sub is plus 575. Wheezy, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, same. The sub. He's minus 770 on the money line, and then the decision is barely plus money, and the inside the distance prop is juiced to the tits. So, I mean, if he's gonna finish him, and the KO is like, close to the money line, and the sub is plus 575, you might as well take the sub. And yeah, like we were talking before the show, he's been close to submissions in his last 2 fights against Randy Brown and against Renat. And Zach is somebody that likes to kind of like stay at range and throw kicks, but he's going to get one of those kicks caught and he's going to get dumped on his ass. And I think the easy way for Zaleski to finish this fight is just to take him down and sub him. So it'll be an easy win check for him. And I think that's the obviously the line that has the most value here, seeing as This guy's minus 770 to win this fight.
Yeah, I think he should have finished this guy as long as that one ref is not in there this time. Kizayev. Do you think they flew Kizayev in?
I doubt it. I doubt it, man. That guy's in a Russian gulag somewhere, I think, right now.
I was watching. I was taping one of these fights. I forget which fight it was or which card, but I saw Kizayev was reffing still. They're letting this guy ref outside the UFC.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that their standards are just much lower in Russia. They ask, well, have you ever gotten anyone killed? And he's like, well, like killed that day. And they're like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, then no, but Benoit Saint Denis almost died on his watch. I mean, came very, very close. And it's funny that we talk about Elijah Zaleski and Vyacheslav Kizayev, because he's a brutal referee, man. Oh. He's just really bad. He was a fighter too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and 0-6 or something. Like he had 0 wins and they were all losses. So yeah, he wasn't a great fighter either.
So not really good at anything then.
Yeah, that could be the case. Kind of like a lot of the people that judge these fights cage side. Like what are they good at other than nepotism?
Right. Scrogin is a lamb for slaughter here. Yeah, they're just filling the card. They're just filling the card here. So we'll see. But yeah, Zaleski dos Santos, massive, massive favorite. All right. Speaking of massive favorite, we got Denise Gomes going against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Denise Gomes minus 600 now. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is plus 450. Yeah, if I had another pass, I'd probably use it here. I think that Denise Gomes wins this fight, but minus 600 is like a little wild. Jeez. But yeah, I could really see her winning by any method. I'll just say decision. I don't love it at all. I think it's minus 127, but I think that's the most likely scenario. Denise Gomes winning by decision, landing the harder shots on the feet, potentially getting the occasional takedown and getting it done on the scorecards. But I kind of hate it, to be honest. Wheezy, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, I took a shot on Denise Gomez sub at plus 1,600 for a quarter unit on my tracked bets. And why not swing for the fences here? Because, we don't see a lot of KOs anymore, so we're seeing submissions be the way that fights finish. And I think Gomez is a good finisher. She's been close on a couple of submission attempts at the UFC level. She seems entirely comfortable in the grappling exchanges. So I'm going to take a shot. I think it's like about plus 1,400 right now.
Yeah, plus 1,200 it's been getting hit.
I'll take it. That's fine.
Yeah, I had Gomes by submission plus 2,000 her last fight against Mara, and just sick to my stomach. She had some good opportunities there. So maybe she gets it here. And I'll be pissed because I didn't get it last time. But yeah, should be an interesting fight. Let's see. This fight is for sure a bathroom. I think it'll be a fun fight. It's just a fight I just don't want to put any money on. Denise Gomes by KO. Gomes by KO is plus 300. So there's been no strawweight knockouts yet with the new gloves. Not yet. Will Denise Gomes be the first one to do it? We'll have to see. Sebastian saying Denise Gomes by knockout. We shall see. But yeah, that was, I think, the featured prelim. All right, moving on to the main card opener. Another really juice line here. Meerschaert Abdul Malik going against Dusko Todorovic. We got Meerschaert Abdul Malik minus 457. Dusko Todorovic plus 357. Wheezy, what are you doing for this fight here?
Jesus, I don't think I'm doing anything for it. Let me look at my probability show notes, see if we came up with anything for this trash bag of a fight. I mean, oh God, this fight is so horrible from a DraftKings from a betting perspective. Like I have the fight doesn't start round 3 at minus 286 as a potential parlay piece, but that's not a good straight bet. I have Todorovic by decision. Let's do that. Long shot prop. Todorovic by decision at plus 1,000.
Wow.
Dude, this fight, I mean, I just know that the only reason I'm giving you a bet on this fight is because I'm out of passes and Brady's a dick about the rules of this show and he won't let me pass on every goddamn fight. He's like, why should I invite you on if you're just going to pass on all 11 fights? I'm like, all right, fine. I'll give them 10 bets. Well, this is one of the ass bets that you're getting from your Uncle Wheezy. Something that's guaranteed not to cash. Todorovic by decision, plus 1,000. I don't think he's ever even won a decision in his career.
Hey, all right. Let's this fight's terrible from a betting perspective. I think it's going
to be a fun fight to watch though,
yeah.
Right? I really want to see Abdul Malik fight, but these These lines are horrible, Brady.
Yeah, I know. No, I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, if you like seeing a guy just go completely unconscious and almost die, I think this is the kind of the fight for you. I'm hoping Kisiev doesn't ref this fight. If so, we could see the first death in the octagon. But yeah, nothing was really sticking out here for me either. If I had another pass, it would be this one. I do think that fight won't start round 3 is a solid parlay piece. I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go what I think is the most likely scenario which would be Meerschaert Malik by first round knockout. It's a horrible line. It's plus 180, but that's kind of what I think happens. Dusko's been out for a while, had a gruesome injury, a couple surgeries, no takedown defense, no chin. I think this is just a good setup spot for Malik to get his first UFC win by vicious knockout. This guy's ground and pound is some of the most vicious ground and pound you'll ever see. So I'm really hoping like Kisiev's not reffing. Like even I would keep Jason Herzog away from this fight as well because I'm really worried about the safety of Dusko Todorovic. Like get Keith Peterson out of there. You know, put Tony in there. I think Tony would probably stop the fight. But yeah, I'm really worried about Dusko here. So yeah, KO1 for me, plus 180. Weezy taking the Dusko Todorovic by decision at plus 1,000. Yeah, I gotta have 10 bets. You know, typically we do get more passes, but we only have 11 fights.
Yeah.
11 fights on this card. Unfortunately, we lost a couple ones. Weezy for president, maybe in a couple years, Weezy. Maybe the next time you can run for president.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I am in touch with Donald Trump's transition team. We're looking to make America's gambling laws great again, and I am looking to be the gambling czar of the United States. I'm in talks with the Trump team right now. We're going to make this country great again by bringing back 5 dimes. Yes. For all of us gamblers, Brady. That's what I'm running on. That's what I'm going to try to do as Donald Trump's gambling czar. And if you have any pull with the Trump administration, that's what you need to be reaching out to them right now and saying, look, Don, got to get your Uncle Weezy as gambling czar of the United States here. We can make this country everything that it was supposed to be, everything that we were promised, Brady. It could be brought to us in the gambling realm if we get our Uncle Weezy as gambling czar of the United States of America. So let's try to make that happen. All of us. Let's try to make that happen. I promise you're going to have the best 4 years of your life with me as the gambling czar of this country. Yeah,
because we shouldn't be paying minus 450 for Meerschaert Malik.
No.
We shouldn't have to pay minus 425 for Jillian Robertson. Like I'm getting quite sick of it.
I'm walking into books that are posting their lines, and I'm firing their entire risk management departments.
Good.
You know, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to be ruling with an iron fist, Brady. You know, this minus 450 for a money line. This kid's a debutante. He's got 6 professional fights. He's never seen a third round. This is not the country that I was raised in, Brady. Minus 457.
It's disgusting. Like minus 250 on Cortavius Romeus. I mean, minus 350 on or 310 on DeRitter. Minus 750 on Prates. Like it's sickening.
Not in your Uncle Weezy's America, ladies and gentlemen.
Good.
You want this shit to stop? Call your congressman.
Agreed. It's gone too far, but we'll move on to the next fight. It is Jillian Robertson going against Luana Panero. Another really juicy line. This whole main card just filled with just a ton of juice. Robertson minus 425. The fight doesn't go minus 225 for a strawweight fight is wild. But Weezy, were you able to find anything?
Dude, when I gave out Jillian Robertson inside the distance earlier this week, it was minus 130. Where is that now? Like minus 200 or something?
Jillian Robertson inside the distance on Bet Online minus 210.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yikes.
Dude, minus 165. So I bet one unit on I Dutched the 2 and the 3 props for Jillian. I got plus 207 earlier in the week. I'm sure that's not there anymore. Let's just go Jillian Robertson inside the distance. I think I see a minus 160 something.
Jillian Robertson inside the distance, minus 1. Let me check what they have on DraftKings.
I'm going to look and see what they have on Bet Rivers right now. We'll see if I can find a decent line to give you guys. Where is it? God, these lines, dude, this is crazy. Dude, Jillian Robertson minus 420.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
It's terrible, man.
What the hell is going on here, man?
I see
Minus 141 on Bet Rivers, dude. Jillian Robertson by finish.
And minus 135 on DraftKings as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's do that. That's what we're doing.
And it's your ass shaving of the week, too, which I was shocked when I heard that. It's your ass shaving of the week because you do not do female ass shavings anymore. I think, what was the last one that you did?
I think it was Myra Bueno Silva over Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
I had Cheyenne Vlismas over Corey McKenna. I mean, like, dude, I've had some ass shavings of the week that were female that were just went tits up, Brady. I mean, every time I get served, but they forced my hand again, and I had to do it this week. This is a rough card.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I think Jillian shaves ass as well. Do you think Panero has a lot of hair on that ass?
Probably not. It certainly didn't look like it at weigh-ins.
Okay.
And I did my research, Brady. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe she can shave something else. So yeah, I'm going with I have the Robertson 2-3s as well. So I'll just go with round 3, plus 850 now. I got it at plus 750. So the line actually improved, which I think is weird because I feel like everybody's on this 2-3. But yeah, give me Robertson round 3 plus 850. I think early on she might struggle a little bit to get the fight down to the mat, might eat some big shots. But as the fight goes on, Panero is going to slow down. Robertson's going to get on top, and I think she breaks her and makes her quit second, third round. But I'm hoping third because it is the better line there. So give me Robertson round 3. She looked bad AF. Who did?
Yeah,
Panero or
they both did.
Yeah,
they both did.
Jillian 420. How appropriate that maybe that's why it's plus,
that makes sense. That makes sense. There's some great pictures of her with like a big blunt, just enjoying it.
Yeah. No, he prefers for the ass to be shaved. That's why he does the ass shaving.
Exactly. Yeah. And Rick Steves, yes, Haralambos Grigoriou was the ass shaving of the week over Toshiomi Kazama, and he blew that one too. So yeah, never forget.
Well, to be fair, he did knock him out, but Herzog didn't stop.
I know it didn't count. That knockout did not count. But he died in there. He died. He tried to finish him. He failed, and he died.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm picking as well. Round 2 sub. I'm on the round 2 myself, but we'll see what happens there. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Cortavius Romeus going against Gaston Balanos. We got Romeus now minus 240, which is crazy because I remember this guy was like minus 140 last week. Balanos is plus 205. For me, I feel like Romeus could look all of minus 240 if he goes out there with the right game plan. And the question is, will he do that? I think on the ground, he has a massive advantage. Balanos has Elise Reed level grappling. I was, before seeing the lines, I had the Romeus submission circled and ready to go. But the submission prop is like probably the worst submission line I've ever seen. Plus 165, plus 145. You can get plus 200. I think that's just completely awful. So I'm just going to go with Romeus inside the distance, plus 110. I think it is mostly by sub if it does happen, but he also has a ton of power on the feet as well. So give me Romeus inside the distance, and I'm hoping he goes out there and gets the fight down to the ground. Wheezy, what are you doing for this fight here?
So I am going with the Gaston Balanos money line here. This one is this line is ridiculous, dude. Cortavius Romeus at minus 250 in the UFC is a joke. He's just not experienced enough. He's not tested enough. His last win before the Contender Series was over a guy with 15 wins and 29 losses. And dude, I was watching one of his fights on the regional scene where he had the dude's back and his legs were too short to lock in the body triangle. He's 5'3", but it's an intriguing fight because you could easily see Cortavius getting takedowns, and I think he will get takedowns. And I think once he does get takedowns, I think he's probably going to advance to dominant positions. But if he's unable to finish, I think Gaston's going to wind up on top a couple of times, landing ground and pound. I think he's going to land the bigger shots on the feet. And I think that this fight could play out really close. I think it could play out a lot like Aaron Phillips versus Balanos, where Phillips got 5 takedowns and he got like 4 or 5 minutes of control time, but Gaston kept getting up and kept landing the much bigger shots on the feet. This fight probably won't be that close on the feet. Gaston's way better than Cortavius. He's a lot more accurate. He's a lot more technical. But Cortavius is really explosive, really athletic. And I think he's going to be able to find takedowns when Gaston plants his feet and really tries to land big shots. So I think it's going to be a close fight. And right now, I mean, I just think Balanos plus 210 it's crazy. It's crazy. You shouldn't be laying minus 250 on Cortavius Romeus. He's a UFC debutant with very few recognizable wins on his resume. While, Balanos has been fighting in promotions like Bellator for years. He's seen guys like Cortavius Romeus. Go watch the Solo Hatley fight, a fight that I thought he won, actually. Very similar type of fight where Solo just wall installed and tried to lay and pray, and Gaston landed the bigger shots on the feet and in the clinch, and he almost won a decision despite that fact that he was controlled for like 9 or 10 minutes of the fight. So, yeah, I think it's going to play out close, and I think there's value on that Balanos money line.
Yeah, this line is wide, but I think every single line on this card's wide, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I guess
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the line I would like the most is Radtke, I guess. But even that, it's like,
Even he was like minus 150 earlier in the week. Now he's minus 174. At that price, Semi's got some value. Semi decision was sitting around plus 510. That's a good look as well.
Yeah, it's a tough card because I think all these lines are wide, but I just don't like much of these dogs. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to get to see Marcus McGee next week versus, I think, Jonathan Martinez. That fight's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Landmines all over. Yeah, it's your typical Apex card. Let's get it. Even Radtke is sus. Agreed. I think Radtke is sus. Not in that way, but in terms of like laying minus 170 on him. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is Gerald Meerschaert going against Rene de Ridder. We got de Ridder minus 310, Gerald Meerschaert plus 260. I will kick it to you, Uncle Easy. What are you liking for this co-main event?
So I've got a tracked bet on Meerschaert to win in rounds 2 or 3 at plus like 7 something. I Dutched it at plus 1,400 and plus 1,800 on the second and third round props, respectively. But what I'm going to give for this show is Renier de Ridder by decision at plus 200. Because if GM3 doesn't find a finish here, I think he's going to lose the minutes of this fight by being on his back and by absorbing ground and pound. He's very easy to take down. He's always had sub 50% takedown defense. He prefers to grapple, but de Ridder's been in there with some really top-notch submission grapplers. So I think he's going to be able to avoid the submissions of GM3, but I think there's also a chance that de Ridder gets tired late and makes a mistake, in which case GM3, we know that he's a master of taking advantage of mistakes late in fights and finding late finishes. But I think the most likely result in my pick for this fight is de Ridder to win by decision. I'm betting that at plus 200.
Yeah, if it goes to decision, I mean, de Ridder is winning. Meerschaert's never won a decision in UFC ever. So yeah, if it goes to decision, it's kind of like a lock that he does win that decision. For me, it's Gerald Meerschaert 2-3. I mean, they're always in play, no matter who he's fighting. He's just done it so many times. So I'm gonna go Meerschaert round 3. Just in general, it's plus 2,000. I think that de Ridder is going to have a ton of early success. Meerschaert can't stuff a takedown. Takedowns will come easy, but I don't think de Ridder has the best cardio. This guy clearly slows down. He does make mistakes as the fight goes on, and I think he has a little bit of quit in him too. So I think Meerschaert 2-3 makes a ton of sense. He has gotten rid of quitters before. He's gotten rid of guys with poor cardio before. So I'll go Meerschaert round 3 at plus 2,000. I think it's very much on the table as long as he does not get killed early on. Gerald by Gilly. Hopefully it's in round 3. Does anyone think de Ridder looks stiff and not that good? I think he's pretty good. I was impressed with what I saw from him just in the first round. After the first round, he kind of really slows down. Doesn't really seem like he can battle much adversity either. Ridder under 1.5 rounds. Live bet Meerschaert after that. Don't hate a live bet on Meerschaert potentially. Meerkat is sneaky. He is sneaky.
Yeah.
He is sneaky. This fight goes the distance. Why? Because nobody is betting it. Yeah, fight goes the distance plus 135. I actually like the fight doesn't go, and it seems very, very generous, but yeah. I said that about the Malott fight last week, so we'll see.
Yeah, the unders always seem generous these days, Brady, and they just all seem like you're going to get your ass snatched in a bear trap.
Right. The time of non-violence. This card is hot garbage. I think this main card's like fun. I think it's gonna be a fun card. The Ritter looks like a lifeguard. He kind of does. I could see it. Maybe like the sunscreen on his nose. I could see it. I don't know, man. The guy looks overrated as hell. And exactly, man, he's got skill on the ground, but not having a gas tank and being a quitter will get you dubbed in the UFC, especially against GM3. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this main event. We have Carlos Prates going against Neil Magny. We got Carlos Prates minus 750, Neil Magny plus 550. I think out of all the fights, from a betting perspective, I hate this one the most. Like, Prates minus 750 is just too wide. Prates KO is, what is it, like minus 350 for a KO prop? Like, I can't remember the last time a KO prop was minus 350, like, ever. Prates inside the distance minus 400. Just nothing even remotely bettable. So I'll go with what I think is, I'll just go with my pick here. It's Carlos Prates, KO round 2, plus 390. Trash. It's trash, but there's really nothing. I mean, I would clearly pass on this fight if I had another one, but since I have to go with something, it's Prates KO 2. I think round 1, maybe a feeling out process, and then he kind of starts to put it on him, like the Leech fight and the Giles fight. So Prates round 2 KO, plus 390. But I hate everything about this fight from a betting perspective. Wheezy, what are you doing for this main event?
So I've got a tracked bet, Brady. I found Magny round 4 at plus 5,500. I found Magny round 5 at plus 6,500. And I found Magny by decision at plus 1,400. I Dutched those 3 bets and got plus 903. I played it for a quarter unit to try to win a little bit more than 2. Just as, I feel like that's Magny's best win condition. I feel like this line is completely out of control on the Prates side. But one line that I like this week is the fight to start round 2 at minus 185. This is Prates' first 5-round fight in the UFC. And usually guys that make that 5-round debut will in an intelligent fashion kind of come out slow. Realize that they've got 5 rounds to get the job done. There's no reason to empty the gas tank in round 1. Go out there, get your reads, take your time, ease into the fight. Don't empty the gas tank early, especially against a guy like Magny, where if you don't get him out of there, he's a guy who's notorious for kind of just coming back and winning fights late against people that get tired. So I like fight to start round 2 at minus 185 for this one. It's the last leg of my greasy 4-legger, and I think it hits.
Yep, I actually like that quite a bit. I think it's a very generous line. So you're going, fight starts round 2, I'm going Prates KO 2. I think we both could potentially hit that there. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick recap of these bets here for UFC Vegas 100, and then we'll do our best bet for the entire card. For me, I'm going Melissa Mullins inside the distance, plus 285. Passing on the Gore fight, Cody Staman plus 3.5 points, red minus 125. Charles Radtke sub plus 750. Eliza Zaleski dos Santos by sub plus 575. Denise Gomes by decision minus 127. And then Sir Abdul Malik KO 1 plus 180. Romeus inside the distance plus 110. Jillian Robertson round 3 plus 850. Gerald Meerschaert round 3 plus 2,000. And then Carlos Prates KO 2 plus 390. In terms of the best bet, it is going to be, I'll go with the Eliza Zaleski dos Santos by submission. I think it's very much on the table there. This guy has no takedown defense. Zaleski black belt. I think it's very live. Wheezy is taking Melissa Mullins to win inside the distance, plus 285. Passing on the Gore fight, taking Devon Blackshear by decision, minus 120. Charles Radtke by submission, plus 750. Zaleski by submission, plus 575. Gomes by submission, plus 1,200. Todorovic by decision, plus 1,000. Balanos money line, plus 210. Jillian Robertson inside the distance, minus 135. De Ritter decision, plus 200. And then Prates Magny fight starts round 2. Does all that look correct, Weezy? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Yeah, let's go. That does look all correct. And let's go with Charles C. Diddy Radtke by submission as the best bet of the week. Let's have a little fun. Let's see if he can get the job done there and find that rear naked choke. Chicago, Illinois, stand up. Valley Flow striking, stand up. Looking forward to seeing him go out there against Semi. That's a great fight that I'm really looking forward to.
And I'm looking forward to his interview as well. You never know what Radtke's going to say on the mic. That guy's he's probably going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, I know. I think that they're trying to keep him at Apex cards so they don't have 20,000 people trying to kill him Like in Australia after he beat Blood Diamond, I think he challenged everybody to a fight. I'm not going to even say what he called everybody in the crowd. You can go check it out for yourself.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It was horrible. I mean, like, this guy just doesn't care, man. He loves playing that heel role. So let's see if he can get the job done.
Heck yeah. So yeah, should be a fun week. Keeping it light. Next week we have UFC 309, which should be an amazing card. So I would not go crazy on this card, but it should be a fun night of fights. Wheezy, any final thoughts from you? And then also let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, looking forward to watching these fights, but I'm staying very light on this card, keeping the powder dry for next week for UFC 309 at Madison Square Garden. You can find me on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy's YouTube channel. You can find me on the X at MMA Wheezy. You can find me on Patreon. You can find me on Dub Club. I'm running an 80% off 1 month's membership on my Dub Club right now. You can find the link to that in the most recent video that I did in the description of the video. Come join me. Stats, benchmarks, betting models, Discord, all that stuff, Brady. Looking to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 100. I got a lot of small bets with a lot of high upside. Hopefully it all comes together like butt cheeks tonight, Brady.
I hope so. It just takes one. Just takes one of these big long shot props to hit to make your night. So, yep. So be on the lookout for Stat Diggers tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Not going to be a second late. Going right at 7:15. And other than that, guys, enjoy the fights. We'll talk to you soon, and good luck. See ya.